at things get all caught up. So we are streaming and recording, and this will be great. So it is right on time. It is time for our weekly Full Potential Life coaching. We're going to talk about today where health comes from. It's a concept that we talk about a lot around here, but I think it's very, very important to revisit. So we'll let everybody in. Welcome. Glad you're here. Keep in mind we're streaming, and so this will be on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be able to see that. So where health comes from is a huge topic of conversation. You know, we've got groups of people saying, stay home, stay in, stay safe, stay masked, stay, afraid your family's going to die if you get together. We've got other people who say that on November 26th, they're attending a turkey funeral because funerals can have 25 people. And there are people who think the whole thing is a pandemic and a hoax and political stuff. So the spectrum is wide, and I'm not going to have that conversation. But what I will tell you is when we think about where our health comes from, in the 1950s, Masha and Dasha, the conjoined twins, were conjoined from the lower neck down. One got measles, mumps, rubella, other childhood sicknesses. The other did not. Now they're conjoined twins. They have the same bloodstream. They have the same immune system, yet one expressed the symptoms and the other did not. And that led to the study of neuroimmunity, where the brainstem actually tells the immune system what to do. That's why cancer research is starting to really pay attention to upper cervical misalignments. It's been probably 15 years now, but on the East Coast in New England, there was an oncologist that said about 15 years ago, 98% of his cancer patients had a misalignment at C1. There's a reason the brainstem controls the immune system. It's because the immune system is simply a worker in a larger controlled system, and the nervous system tells the immune system what to do. So it's not that exposure doesn't matter. Exposure does matter. I would suggest very much so that you wash your hands properly, that you stay safe, that you do things to boost your immune system. Dr. Sarver just did an amazing presentation, a live in-office presentation on the 5 mistakes to avoid going into flu season and the holidays. And he talked about managing stress and boosting your immune system and what supplements to take and what foods to avoid. And it was a phenomenal workshop, and that went really well. So those are all super important things. But the challenge we're facing right now is we've spent 6, 7, 8 months not using our immune systems at all. We really have stayed home. We've had these shelter in place orders. We've had the stay home, stay safe stuff. We've had the 6 feet of distance. We've had don't go anywhere. And if you do, wear a mask. And so the mask is hard on us. Like I've got research. I know some people disagree with me on this, but it's not my opinion. We have research that shows that people are losing 30% oxygen load by wearing masks. Now, what I'm not saying is, go against the law and don't wear masks and stuff, but talk about having, Beamer to replenish the 30%, at least 30% of the oxygen that you're losing. So, but oxygen depletion increases inflammation. That's hard on your immune system. Less sunlight, today being an exception, but less sunlight is hard on the immune system because vitamin D goes down. So higher sugar intake, less exercise, all of those things factor in. But we were saying March, April, May, when things were closing down, we were saying we've got to be really careful, guys, because as a community, when things open back up, if you were bedridden on bed rest for 6 months, and then I said, get up and go lift a 350-pound weight, you would not be disappointed if you couldn't do that. Because you haven't trained your body, you haven't built up the muscles, you haven't done anything that makes your body have to work. and so that metaphor applies here with our immune systems. If we have been home and sheltered and masked and not making our immune system work at all, and then we get back around each other, of course we're going to have flare-ups. That's why the beginning of the school year is hard on families, because the kids who were with family over summer are now back in school in a setting with a bunch of other people. So, but it doesn't mean don't go be around those people. That's the thing that's really been challenging. Suicide rates are up 200%. There's a lot of other stuff that people aren't paying attention to. So I don't want to just pose a problem. I do want to, offer the solution. Continue with your adjustments. It is single-handedly the best thing you can do to boost your immune system. If you're seeing Dr. Sarver and you're on your supplementation, stay very, very diligent with that. Make sure that you're getting rest, the proper rest. Make sure that you're avoiding white sugar right now. Make sure that you're exercising. Make sure you're tending to your faith with prayer and Bible reading and meditation, if that's your faith. Make sure that you are being very intentional with stuff, because there is more going on. I had a lady the other day that wasn't feeling well. She went in, she thought she had the flu. She went to urgent care and asked for a flu test. They don't even have flu tests. They only have COVID tests right now. Her COVID test was negative. But more people are being tested. I do think we need to be aware of that. I don't in any way suggest that we live in fear, that we hide out. If you're under care, you are doing a tremendous job keeping your immune system strong. I have patients that have tested positive for COVID, and they talked about it being a pretty crummy week. But I mean, these are people in their 70s even who are potentially high risk, who had a fever and lost their sense of taste and smell for a week or so, and we're feeling pretty crummy, as we would if we get a viral infection of any kind, especially a SARS virus like the coronavirus is. But it does not need to ruin our life. A few stats that I want to point out. Science is telling us now that they have a vaccine that's 90% effective. But keep in mind, they're going to be pushing a vaccine that's 90% effective on a virus that has a 97% survival rate. Keep that in mind when pressure comes. If you're over 65 and you're seeing an allopathic physician, your family doctor is going to be relentless about you getting a flu shot. That's a different conversation, but I want you, prepared for that. If you choose to get a flu shot, choose to get a flu shot. If you don't choose to get a flu shot, choose not to get a flu shot. Nobody should ever feel pressured into anything. You should make decisions that are the best decision for you and your health. So, keep those things in mind. So far, in 2020, the death toll for the entire country, okay, I'm not talking about coronavirus, is still less people have died in the United States in 2020 than died in 2019. I can get numbers. I read them. I didn't have it, for this call, but so the point of me telling you this is we're focused as a society on political stuff, election things, coronavirus things, but poverty hasn't changed. The number of suicides has doubled. There's a lot more going on. And so I would just encourage you to take a deep breath, say a prayer, back up from it, look at it for what it really is. Be wise, don't make unhealthy choices, but we do not need to be hunkered down hiding. We don't need to be avoiding people. Again, we can be smart, but we don't need to live in fear. All right, that's what I have. If you have questions, I'll open it up for you. I'm going to check on the chat and see if I have any questions there. But feel free to raise your digital hand. If you go in the participant screen, there's a blue digital hand that you can raise. Miss Gay, yes, Psalm 91 is an excellent psalm to read, so that we can know, that we don't have to live in fear, for sure. I'm going to just check the chat here, see if I have any of those. And if you ladies that are on live don't have any questions, you're welcome to enjoy your day. If you are having if you're having Thanksgiving next week, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We won't be doing our weekly live coaching next week. If you are going to a turkey funeral, enjoy that. If you are gonna be alone, enjoy your solitude. Do things that only you can do, right? Enjoy it, celebrate it. Know that we're extremely grateful for you being the best part of our practice. If we didn't have you to hang out with and take care of, we'd be all kinds of bored. So let me look over here on the chat and see. And if I don't see any questions, I will sign off and you can all have a blessed couple weeks. Everything looks good here. All right. We will talk soon. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your